So I had a lot of questions after this Ferguson thing went down. Um, I wasn't in the United States when it happened, but of course, because this is a global world, I got the information and uh, digested the basics while I was away. And then I came back, and this grand jury thing was going to get released, right? So everybody knows about all this stuff, but I want to take it one step further because I was wondering, about the politics that are behind the scenes, or you could say behind the false flag. Yeah. See, people didn't realize it's a false flag. And I'll tell you how I know that this is something really fishy. Okay? I don't want you touching this. I was looking at police statistics. Okay? Because I want to know about the shootings that take place. Because we know that this is nothing new. We know that this kind of stuff happens and that there's racial profiling. I could even get racial profile, but I don't live my life in fear, and I don't attach myself to a group or identify because I have an inferiority complex. I don't do that. So, even if my skin was a little darker, or was a little lighter, or this or that, or whatever country. See, the thing is, you can't make excuses, because if you want to identify that way, and you want to become inferior, you want to play that game, then you will be taken advantage of and exploited. And that's what's going on right here. That is the truth. That's the real deal of what's happening. As I said, I did a search on statistics here. I use Google a lot, but I could have done it on any other site. Would have come up with the same thing. Here are the results of the searching for police shootings, killings, crime stats. One thing here is a quote on 538.com, all spelled out words. That's this website. This is what they're saying. So, that's not really what I'm talking about. That's just slightly related to this. And actually, that's a picture that. Then this is also slightly related. Read here. Giuliani, the famous figure that he is, former New York City mayor. He was a presidential candidate for, of course, the Republican Party, if you didn't remember that. He makes the claim that 93% of blacks are killed by other blacks. So, I don't know how he puts that statistic together. I don't know what the source of it is. But this came out of a televised debate or discussion with a professor, MSNBC, Georgetown professor on there, Michael Eric Dyson. Okay? So they're talking about crime, stats, American politics and such. Now, I'm not taking side with either of the gentlemen, but it's what comes out of Giuliani's mouth like it's science. Okay? So he is supposed to be an intelligent man. 93% of blacks are killed by other blacks. Now, that doesn't differentiate the second blacks there, other blacks. It doesn't differentiate how many of those are black cops, which I'm sure is a very rare statistic of black cops that shoot other blacks. It's rare. I'm sure it does happen. I would bet on it. I didn't see the statistic, but it has to happen. Not that often, though. But other blacks, what does that mean? So other gang members, other people in crimes of passion, other whatever kind of crimes where killing takes place. Homicide, murder, manslaughter, however you want to word it or define it or, analyze the way the killing happened. So Dyson had this debate, where Giuliani, and this is also going to be a viral topic discussion on YouTube, on the internet. Giuliani said, quote, "White police officers wouldn't be there if you weren't killing each other." Okay? So that right there, that's a red flag. Okay? Dyson fired back, quote, defensive mechanism of white supremacy at work in your mind, sir. So this is taken out of context, because if you see, D is not capitalized, so that's not the full sentence. The beginning of the sentence wasn't even quoted here. So don't appreciate that here from Washington Post is the site that I'm on right now. Take a look here. All right, next article, Washington Post. Also, how many police shootings a year? I do appreciate this because this is exactly what I'm trying to answer. But no one knows, according to the Washington Post. No one knows. So you can look that up on their site and read the details that they want to tell you. Now, I looked over here on USA Today. Very interesting. There was an interview with, is this the one where I had the George Stephanopoulos? The guy, I think he's from ABC. He interviewed Darren Wilson. Now this, no, I'm sorry. I'm confusing the articles here. The USA Today article is about the Ferguson fallout. This is the various different things that they are analyzing, the different angles. The article, the interview I was just talking about is here. George Stephanopoulos, a well-known reporter, TV host on ABC. He actually interviewed Darren Wilson. That's not here at this link, but you might be able to find it somewhere. I don't want to get into that specific here. I'm looking for the entire overview of what's happening, and this is the most interesting site that I found. Can I say this on live TV? As if it's the 1970s. HeyJackass.com. What a great site. HeyJackass.com. You have to go there. These people are no nonsense. These people are more than halfway intelligent. It's actually refreshing. And I don't say that very often in America. They are actually giving you stats. I don't know the veracity of it. I can do some double checking, but just initially I wanted to show you because they're presenting information and graphs here and confronting this question that I have. Read on the side here. It says, while the events down in Ferguson play out back in Chicagoland, the same old BS continues day in and day out with nary a peep. 107 days since Wilson shot Michael Brown, on August 9th. The following stupidity has taken place in Chicago. Then you look at the list here. 155 homicides, and then you go to here. 10 shot and 5 killed by CPD. So that tells you that just in those 107 days, 5 were killed just in Chicago by the police. I've never heard about it. It's not brought to national media attention. Now, if you go over every major city, we're talking New York City, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Dallas, Houston, Miami, Jacksonville, Atlanta, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, Boston, Indianapolis, Seattle, Portland. I mean, I could keep going on and on and on and on and on and on. There's like 100 major city metropolises there, city regions. So if you just take that statistic of 107 days, 5 killed in Chicago, you could say that there's probably almost 500 more in 107 days in the rest of the country. So in the whole year, what does that mean? If you do a rough calculation, that's definitely over 1,000 people. Victims of police shooting that die. That's over 1,000. Over 1,000. Wait a second. Wait a second. So over 1,000? Over 1,000. But we only hear about this. We only hear about this one. We only hear this one. For the entire 107 days, you only hear about this one. You know, the other stories get like a brief mention, and nobody goes out and protests them the next day. Maybe just in the regional area, yeah. But where's the national, global movement for it? Why does this one have the movement around it? Why this one? And when you look at it, I analyzed at Ferguson, Missouri. The definition of Ferguson is that these are the descendants of man's force, the man with vigor. These are the descendants. That's what Ferguson means. So if you got the last name Ferguson, and I know several people in my life that were named Ferguson. I never analyzed your name for the translation until now. But that is just a symbolic study. It's not like you can't know that much by studying Ferguson. It's not the reason why Ferguson has gained all this traction, has gobbled up all the media as a distraction, as overemphasized. I'll give you the reason why. Because it's being politically manipulated. It's being exploited. It is purposely being controlled through the MSM. It is a false flag. It is a covert operation. It is like an Arab Spring. It is like all those things that you keep having in front of you, like the supposed freedom, struggle that happens in Kiev, Ukraine, which didn't really happen unless you pumped millions of dollars in planning into it. This is how the world operates on that level. It's not the whole world. Thank God it's not the whole world. But the world that you get through your matrix, the world that you get through your machine, the world that you're getting through your YouTube, because nobody will get any views unless they cover this stuff, such as myself. But I'm at least dissecting it, taking it apart for you, and showing it to you in your face. This is what the truth is about it, and now what are you going to do after having the more important information? Does it still make you want to identify with this guy that you never met, that you never would have met? Does it still make you want to identify with Ferguson that you never heard of and you never went to? Probably never heard of. I mean, not that the places that you heard of, like Las Vegas or Disney World, are more important, but does it make you want to identify with the pain of one family? Does it really make you want to go out and ask for justice because of this? You're going to be obsessed with this for a few more months or a year? Remember when they had the Rodney King beating in Los Angeles? Going all the way back? That is the start of this psychological op. It's a psy-op. And the psy-op can't work if you know how to think. You need to put your thinking cap on. That's all I'm asking you to do. I don't want you to be pulled along like sheeple, unless that's what you choose to do. So either wake up or stay asleep. There's no in between. It's like the symbol in the movie. The blue pill or the red pill. I guess there's another option not to take one, and then there's a fourth option. Take them both at the same time and see what happens. You might explode, but here's the deal. While I know that these political things are going on because I'm aware of them, I know how to do this scientific, spiritual awareness of things, I also realize that there's nothing that I can